Mark, we've talked about common taxonomies, which sounds like very computer 101, but with such a large amount of data in the system, can you talk a little bit about how the GSE is using artificial intelligence to sort of pull out themes and trends and some intelligence from these data signals?
Absolutely. I think once you've got a data base the size that we now have with signals, there's a lot you can do, and you also enhance, I think, by using modern AI tools. There's two sort of broad themes that we're using AI for at the moment. One is to categorise our signals. That's quite an important part of what we do. That involves looking at the signals we're getting and attempt to sort of pull out which ones match, I guess, certain sectors, for example, which ones would be to do with, retail, finance, other sort of sectors, industry sectors. We also use it for classification of other areas of our business, looking at, for example, things like groupings of people, groupings such as vulnerable people groupings. We use that in one of our research projects. We pull out signals that refer to maybe targeting elderly people, younger people, and there's lots you can get now by looking at sort of and using AI to do that work for us. It's very powerful. Another really important aspect of AI for us increasingly is in mining the large database that we have. And actually, there's a level you can offer our customers ourselves directly in terms of data intelligence, but actually allowing our users to themselves query the data using these days kind of common, LLM type questions that we're used to. Many of us use LLMs frequently for asking about questions of life. You can actually start to use those LLMs to ask questions of our data, which much more match your own requirements and your own needs as somebody consuming our data.
And an LLM is a large language model. Right, and that's sort of what would be examples?
So things such as ChatGPT and Gemini, which I think we're largely all familiar with these days, and offering a very friendly interface for asking questions. We're moving much more towards offering that kind of support to our customers as well.
Thank you. So final question for you, Lucian. We've just passed our first anniversary of the Global Signal Exchange. Over the coming year ahead, what are you hoping we will show impact for, and particularly for the malvertising project and pilot? What are you hoping for in terms of impact?
I think I'm looking for the same thing with any group that we're talking to. So a finance group, there's one where we're going to do a publishing scams pilot as well. We're working with police and law enforcement, and malvertising, particularly the advertising community, where scammers are very easily buying blocks of adverts. They may buy 1 million adverts on a Saturday morning, hoping that engineers are not working. I've heard of engineers who are staying, getting out of bed on early Saturday morning to squash scams on their platforms and stuff. So I hope that at the end of year one, we've got a larger community from those bodies, that more are coming together to share their threat intelligence, because then we'll have a real grasp of the actual problem. I don't think anybody on the planet is seeing the scale and the threat intelligence. The more we get, the more we'll get a grasp of the actual problem. So sadly, what that means is, I think that the appearance of scams and fraud is going to go up, but I think that will be just realer. So what I'm really excited about is what happens at the end of, beyond that community coming together. And don't forget, we'll be working all the time to provide intelligence and sharing that brings down scams and fraud. But at the end of the second year, I would want to see significant reduction in scams and fraud being reported, particularly those crimes in the context of a group, for example, facilitated by advertising.